Oh, watch out, there's poop on the floor, so you be careful with the slip.
Good morning, Wild Care family. Welcome to our first virtual baby shower. We are thrilled to give you some baby updates today, introduce you to some of our ambassador animals, to some of our volunteers, and some of our staff. You will see on our Facebook page today, if for some reason you are not able to drop off a baby gift from our wish list, you can always order through Amazon Smile to support Wild Care. And we have posted a PayPal link special just for today's baby shower. If you'd like to make a donation in cash, we promise we will put it to very good use. So we're going to kick off this morning with a short interview with our wonderful volunteer, Amy Sanders, and she's going to introduce you to one of our ambassador owls, Nickerson.
Screen. Good morning, everybody. Is Nickerson in the screen?
Yep.
This is Nickerson. Nickerson is an eastern screech owl with a bit of an attitude because it's hot where we are, but she's being a sport. Eastern screech owls are really common on Cape Cod. We get a lot of these when people trim trees, when they cut down brush and they don't realize that the owl nests are inside of them. And so we'll get them as babies. And owls, for some reason, screech owls often get clipped by cars. They seem to get attracted to the headlights, and they fly towards the car, and they figure it out because they're smart. So they sort of figure it out at the last moment, but they still take a clip. So we sometimes get them from that reason as well. Yeah, it's really, really hard to make Nickerson look the way I want her to look. And she's got a window over there, so she might find that really attractive to look at. Nickerson is 5 years old, and as you can see, she came to us from the felling of a tree in Nickerson State Park in Brewster, which is how she got her name. She got an eye injury. She came in with 4 other little owls, or 3 other little owls, 4 of them all together. The other 3 were able to be re-nested with another owl, and Nickerson was not, because as you can see, if she turns her head just right, and it's always really hard to get her to turn her head the way you want her to, she has an eye injury, so she's not able to judge depth very well. She can't figure out how far away things are, so she can't really hunt. She can fly just fine, but it's hard for her to figure out how far away things are, so she's blind in one eye. She does actually have the eye. It's really little, and it's malformed because it was hit when she was really tiny. But so she lives with us, and she lives in a nice big shed outside, so she doesn't have to tolerate us too often. As I said, she's 5. We hope that she'll live to be 14, 15 if we're lucky. Owls in the wild live to be about 10, but in captivity, eastern screech owls go a little longer. She is very light. She's actually about the weight of an apple if you were to hold her. So people tend to think she's bigger or heavier than she is. She's only, what do you think, about 7, 8 inches high. And if you took away all these beautiful feathers, she'd be a little bit bigger than a blue jay, but not very much bigger than a blue jay. She's pretty skinny in there, and she's got a lot of just really beautiful, beautiful feathers. She isn't very tolerant of me pulling her wings out, or I could show you some real gorgeous stuff, but she'll bite if I do that. People often ask me what she eats. Unfortunately, she likes mice and frogs and other living creatures. She eats bugs, crickets, things like that. We feed her frozen mice because none of us really quite have the stomach for feeding her real mice, because, you know, we're rehabbers. We rehab everything. And when they lay eggs, when they're going to nest and they mate, they lay eggs in holes in trees, and they don't really make a nest. They just kind of find a hole and drop their eggs in there. They keep their eggs are about a month, and then the chicks are in that hole for about a month, getting fed by both male and female. And then they do what we call branch, which is they leave the nest, but they're still they're learning to fly, and they're learning to hunt, and they still get another good month and a half with mom, learning how to hunt and how to find the things they need. Say hi to the camera. She has an amazing ability to turn her head. She can go 270 degrees with her head. which I can't make her do, but I can do this, so you can see a little bit of it. What she can't do, though, is move her eyes. We can turn our eyes when we want to look from one place to another, and she can't. Her eyes are totally fixed in place, so when she needs to look at something in a different place, she has to turn her whole head to do it. And people ask about these tufts on the top of her head, which she doesn't want me to touch. She's made that really clear. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. Those tufts on the top of her head, we're not really sure what those are for. We think they might be for communication. When she's fearful, they go flat. When she is, when she's nervous, when she wants to make herself look bigger, she'll puff off all her feathers, but these are actually not her ears. Lots of people think they are her ears, but her ears are back to the side of her eyes, just like ours. So her ears are sort of back in here. And these are just beautiful feathers, which we can see when she molts. She molts once a year, and she's due to do that in about a month. And she is one sad-looking critter when she molts. And we don't take her out because she doesn't like to be seen when she's molting. In addition to that, she gets a bad attitude in addition to looking ridiculous. And so we tried last year to put her into a talk when she was molting, and she wasn't a happy camper. So she doesn't want to be seen. Any questions have come forth?
Nope.
No questions.
No, but everyone's very thankful.
Oh, great. And she's a beauty. Maybe we can get her a little closer to the lens. We'll focus. So you really can get a good chance to see her. Isn't she stunning?
Oh, perfect.
Isn't she stunning?
Oh, nice.
She has mean claws and beak. That beak actually looks fairly small because she has a lot of feathers around it, but it's actually quite large, and she can, sorry about that, she can, with her beak or her talons, go right through to the bone on your hands, which is why we always wear gloves with her. She wouldn't, if she didn't feel she was threatened, she wouldn't bite us. She might bite somebody she didn't know. She wouldn't bite us with that level of aggression if she didn't feel threatened, but she can kill something very easily with her talons, and that's in fact the way they do it. They fly and then they pull their wings back at the last minute and they right themselves upright and catch whatever their prey is with their feet, and usually kill it right away with their feet because those talons are super, super sharp.
So we have a few people that tuned in late. Can you backtrack a little bit and just remind people why Nickerson lives with us and can't be out in the wild?
So Nickerson lives with us because, she came to us because she was in a tree that was felled in Nickerson State Park in Brewster. And I don't know if they're rangers in Brewster, I'm not sure who runs Brewster, but they brought the tree down because they felt it was dangerous to tourists, and then they discovered the owl nest. And so she came in with her 3 brothers and sisters, and the other 3 were releasable. She was not releasable because of this eye injury she has. She was clopped in the eye when that tree was felled. She wasn't injured as far as her skull or anything like that, but her eye was injured and it stopped growing. If you look really carefully, which is really hard to do in this light, and it's actually really hard to do unless you can get up close to her and she cooperates, that eye is actually in there, but we don't think she sees out of it. It's very, very small because it stopped growing when she was hit, and it's kind of cloudy, but it is there. We just don't think she can see out of it. And because she can't see, we judge our distance with the distance between our 2 eyes. Our brains use that to judge distance, and not having that, she really can't tell how far away things are. And because of that, she can't effectively hunt. So she probably wouldn't survive very long out in the wild. She just wouldn't be able to quite catch that mouse or that frog or whatever she was trying to catch, because she'd have a hard time figuring out exactly where it was. And while she was working on that, whatever she was trying to catch would leave. So she lives here. She's healthy. She's 5, just 5. She lives here, and we hope to have her till she's 14, 15 years old. And she has a buddy in her owl shed who we'll see a little bit later. His name is Up. So she lives outside in a shed where she doesn't have to have contact with us crazy people too much. She's a good girl. She's a pretty girl. You're showing everybody how gorgeous you are. I'm being broadcast. And that's the story of Miss Nickerson. We love Miss Nickerson. She's actually really, really sweet. She's much, much easier to deal with. And when you see, if you still tune in later and you see Up has 2 eyes, but his eyes are always like really big because Up is always more nervous. She's pretty mellow. She's like, whatever. Oh, somebody's holding me, be nice.
Well, thank you, Miss Nickerson. We really appreciate you spreading the good word about wild care.
These beautiful feathers. She has an amazing kind of camouflage too. This feather color. Oh, I forgot to say owls come in 3 colors. This kind of owl. They come in a reddish color, they come in a brownish color, and they come in gray. And she's a gray one. And if we put her up, I don't know if we can do this because I don't know if I can hold this. Let me hold her. But if you can see, I'll put her up against the bark. She like disappears.
Oh.
Especially if she closed her eyes. And that's really hard to hold because it's really heavy. Might show that better with Up. So now she disappears, and if she sees a predator and she's in a tree, she closes her eyes down. It just slits so she can see, but you can't see that bright green, so she's really well camouflaged. With all the ones we've had around her, I've never seen one out in the wild.
Oh.
And they're all over the place here. I've heard them, but I've never seen one. You want to say goodbye, Miss Nickerson?
Thank you, sweet girl.
Say goodbye.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back in a little bit with a patient update with Stephanie.
Thank you.